Hi there, Adam with Sound Balance Physical Therapy in Puyallup. And this month we've been talking about neck pain and headaches, which are two of the problems that I see probably most often right after back pain, which we'll talk about another month. But regardless, people come in with shoulder pain, they come in with back pain. Inevitably, they'll also tell me that they have at least at a minimum a kink in the neck or an occasional headache that we can usually deal with as well. They just don't tell me right off the bat because they have never had success dealing with it in the past. So they just kind of continue to deal with it instead of addressing it and getting rid of it. So last week we talked a little bit about my neck pain and headaches that I've had in the past. This week we're going to talk a little bit about mistakes people make when dealing with this problem on their own. And to some extent, I've made the same mistakes, if not with my neck, definitely with some other injuries that I've had. So why do we care about headaches? We're talking 47% of people suffer with headaches at some point, and even more than that suffer from neck pain. Studies show that women are 4 times more likely to have headaches than men, and about 23% of headaches are what we call cervicogenic headaches, where they start at the back of the skull and the upper neck, and then they'll progress up and around to the face. And typically, though not always, they'll hide behind one eye or the other eye. And the word that I hear, and most often from women as well on this one, is that it's like an ice pick is just gouging them in the eye. Now, I've had this myself, and if you haven't, I hope you never do. But if you have, you know just what I'm talking about. It feels like a cold pain that's just searing. I don't know how cold sears, but it's like searing into your head. Like it's deep inside there. You can kind of almost feel it here, but it's like it's coming from right there. And when I've had that in the past, I can tell that there's a connection to my neck. Some people never really draw that connection, but I've had people who come in for just a consult and will be able to get rid of their headache that they've had for years. And it doesn't happen every time, but just on the first visit, they'll say, oh, I have these migraines, and my doctor thinks they're cluster headaches or they're stress headaches, and they've got 10 or 12 other names. And I'll say, well, let me just try something. And we just do a little treatment. It's very gentle. It's not like we're cracking the neck. It's just very gentle treatment right in the back of the head. And I'll say, how is that affecting your headache? And they'll say, oh my gosh, it's gone. It's completely gone. And sometimes people will leave the clinic in tears because, not because we've hurt them, but because they have had this headache for so long and it's finally gone. Now usually that'll come back because if you've got pain that's lasting over the course of years, it's not just going to go away in one single treatment, but it'll go away, and that relief might last the whole day or several hours, and then we know we're on the right track. Now whatever other symptoms that they may have, this is a cervicogenic headache because we've treated the neck and the head has resolved. So we didn't treat the head, we didn't treat the blood pressure, we didn't treat any other symptoms. All we treated was this neck dysfunction. And because the headache was generated from the neck coming around to here, referring pain around to the head, when we treat the source of the problem, the headache goes away. And so that's why we always put these two together. You don't always have neck pain with headaches, and you don't always have headaches with neck pain, but so often they go together, at least at some point. So women are 4 times more likely to have cervicogenic headaches than men, or to have headaches than men, and at 23% of headaches are cervicogenic. I think it's more than that. That's just the number that they get when they are looking at this in research. But in my experience, people will come in and they've had a headache labeled as something else, and we'll treat it. We'll treat the neck, and the headache goes away. And it has to have been a cervicogenic headache because we didn't treat anything else. So people with this type of pain, or really with any type of pain, you've got 3 options for what you can do. And this is where most people make a mistake. Now we can try to change it. So in this case, you know, we can change the way that you're moving, or change the way that you're addressing things. And I relate this to leaky roof. So if you have a leak in the roof, and I had a friend, he owns a clinic in another state, and he had this leaky roof, and his clinic was really long. So the water was leaking down, and it was following the pipes, and then it had leaked through on the other side of his clinic into the clinic. And so what he did, as most people do when they have something leaking, is he said, hey, let's find a garbage can. And at home, maybe it's a pot or something, or a bucket. But he says, hey, let's find a garbage can and let's stick this under the leak. So boop, 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 it's leaking in the garbage can. And as he ignores that, the garbage can fills up. And then somebody goes and dumps it and the floor gets a little bit wet. And if we just sort of ignore the problem is going to get worse. So the number one, the biggest mistake that people make is that they ignore the problem. And ignoring it only gets worse. So pretty soon, you know, it's filling up once a day, and then it's filling up 2 or 3 times a day, and then the water damage on the roof is now dripping in multiple places, and then you've got multiple garbage cans, and you haven't done anything for this. All you've done is sort of dealt with the immediate damage or the immediate problem. And that's a good thing on a short-term basis. You have to keep the floor from getting ruined, so you throw a bucket under there. So this is sort of how we deal with things on the first time they happen, and that makes a lot of sense. You know, you get a migraine headache, maybe you go home from work, so you're kind of ignoring it, but it's not really getting better. But you have to get through the day somehow. Some people move to the alter it. So what can we do to alter this? Well, we can use the buckets, and this as far as your neck and head go is typically pain medication, muscle relaxers. They're not things that are going to permanently fix the problem, but they're going to keep things at bay temporarily. Now, if you really want to fix the roof, you're going to call a roofer, and you're going to get them up on the roof. And for my friend, you know, he had this leak way over here, and it was caused by this this leak in the roof, these shingles that were pulled up. And you know, he got an estimate, he got it fixed, and then once you get that fixed, you don't need the buckets anymore. And in the same way, once you get your neck pain fixed, once you get the source of the problem fixed, you don't need the pain medicine anymore. And so that's really what we're looking at. You can ignore it and just let the carpet get ruined and just keep dealing with the pain, just ignoring it. You can alter it. You can take pain medicine and you know, put some buckets under the leaky roof, and that'll get you through the day. But that's a good short-term, not a good long-term solution. Medicine, injections, those typically get you a day for the medicine, maybe a month for the injections, sometimes a couple months. But unless you really get a professional to look at that, you don't know what the root source of your problem is. And what you think is a leak over here might be a problem way across the other side of the clinic. Or in this case, what you think is a headache here is actually coming from a dysfunction here in the neck. Now, there are several dysfunctions that can happen, but today we're going to talk about one that typically affects a large group of people. This is probably the number one issue that I get, and it's just that everybody is forward flexed. So if I take a phone and I'm looking at the phone, I'm sort of flexed down here. I have my head sort of tucked, and so in this position, the upper part of my neck is really flexed, and in some cases, the lower part of my neck is extended. And so if we just look at the upper and the lower, I have my lower neck here is pulled way back, and my upper neck is then flexed forward. Now we get into this position when we're sort of hitting our phones here, or another position that we get into with this is those lazy boy recliners, and you go way back, and then you're watching television over there. And so in that position, again, I'm forward flexed way up high, and I'm kind of extended down low. And that just puts a lot of pressure right here. And the solution is just a little bit of a modification of how we do things. So we can put this, for the lazy boy, you put the screen up a little bit higher. You're not tucking to look down at a screen that's low. That can help. Also maybe support your head as you're looking there. Or sit up and watch television. Or don't watch television at all. See last month about sitting too much. So our last month's videos. So those are some short term. For the texting and things, or even typing, some people get that way, but we'll talk about that another day. For texting, just if we bring that from here up to here, or even just don't tuck back so far. Some of the older folks too with bifocal glasses, and they'll be tucking their head like this, and it just puts excess stress right on the back here. It stretches those suboccipital muscles, and it puts some pressure on the neurovascular bundle, and sure enough, headache comes right up. Now, next week we're going to talk about 2 other causes that are postural in nature that can cause this, but we also get people, just this week I had a lady come in with a motor vehicle accident. Is extremely common. You whiplash injuries, or you've been rear-ended, or even a side hit where you get a more significant problem in there. But most people can really deal with some of these minor things just with some basic modifications and knowledge about how you're moving and how that affects the underlying structures of your neck. So what I want to do is, first of all, see if there's any questions. You can put those in the comments and we can address those. And then secondly is, if you want to have somebody, a professional, look at what you're dealing with and just see if it's something that might be treatable, then what you can do is direct message us or click on the link that we'll try to attach to this post. If there's no link, just direct message. And if there is a link, click that and you can get in touch with us. And what we'll do is a free discovery visit this month for people with neck pain, where you can come in, you can sit down with me for about 30 minutes, and we can discuss how you got to this point. Usually people with chronic pain, it's been a long road, and maybe you're new to this pain, you just woke up one day with a kink in the neck, then that's even easier to treat generally. So come in and see if it's something that we can do. If it's not something that we can address, then we can at least eliminate that possibility and more quickly get you on the path to somebody who can possibly help you with these problems. So go ahead and sign up for one of those free discovery visits, or even just direct message me and we can chat a little bit to see if that makes sense for you, if you're a little hesitant to come in. So that's it for this week. Good luck with that neck pain and everything else. That's it. We'll see you later.